Hi everyone, welcome to this presentation. I'm going to talk about leisure time at university and in the city in the UK. So leisure time is our free time. This is the time leisure activities are like our hobbies or other activities or plans we have with our friends. So I'm going to talk about leisure time, free time for students in the UK, what they do, and I'm going to focus specifically on the cinema and different types of films, different films that I like, directors or actors I like, this sort of thing. So let's have a look. So, leisure time at university in the UK. So, what are the activities or things that students do or like to do? So, common leisure activities include eating out at restaurants, at cafes, or at friends' houses, going to the pub. You can see here, going to the pub, having a drink with your friends, or playing pool. It's a common activity at the pub, or playing darts. You can see a dart board here. Common activities. Spending a weekend or a day, an afternoon in the countryside, going walking. Playing football or some other sports in the park, or going to the cinema. It's all very common leisure activities for students in the UK. Okay, let's focus on going to the cinema, and we're going to focus on some film genres. Genre, a bit like the Spanish word. We use the French word genre. This is like a type of film, okay? So here are some different types of films, some film genres. So action films, like The Terminator. So lots of action, lots of fighting or violence, very fast films. Biopics, it's often about the life of a famous person. Maybe you saw Bohemian Rhapsody about Freddie Mercury and Queen, or Selma about Martin Luther King, Lincoln, say about Abraham Lincoln. So biopic about the life of a famous person. Next we have animated films like Toy Story or Spirited Away. So they can be computer animated or cartoons like this. Of course, comedy, so films that are funny, that have a lot of jokes. Comedy films, like Airplane is a classic comedy film. Adventure films, Lord of the Rings would be a good example of an adventure film. And science fiction, so often films that are set in the future or in space with some elements of science and fiction, like Star Wars as an example. Two more are horror films and thrillers. Okay, a horror film, an example would be Get Out is a horror film. Films that are scary, filled with terror, it's a horror film. Or Psycho be another horror film, also a thriller. Thrillers are films that maybe are scary, they're definitely exciting, there's a lot of tension. So Psycho, Shutter Island, Seven, if you know these films. Next one's a drama and documentary. So a drama could be like The Shawshank Redemption. This one, Forrest Gump. I'm sure you know this film. And documentary films, well, you know, a documentary is a factual film about real events. So this is a famous one, Inconvenient Truth, about global warming. Or this is a famous documentary from Chile, Nostalgia de la Luz. Two more types. We have spy films and superhero movies. So a spy film would be like James Bond, like Skyfall, Spectre, Casino Royale. And obviously superhero movies, you know, common superheroes. Superman, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Birdman. Okay, next we have black and white films and historical films. So black and white films is more a technique than a genre. So you can think Roma, Güeros is a Mexican film, and a Colombian film, El Abrazo de la Serpiente, The Embrace of the Serpent, or black and white films. Historical films, an example would be Braveheart with Mel Gibson. It's a film set in a historical period. Okay, some more we have musicals and rom-com. So musicals, obviously Grease is a very famous musical. And a rom-com is a romantic comedy. So it's both a film that is funny and romantic about love. Bridget Jones is a classic example of a rom-com. And we also have war films like Saving Private Ryan. And westerns. Westerns are cowboy films. So like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. Old films about cowboys from the American West. Okay, so they're the different genres of films. Now I'm going to tell you about some of my favourite British films. So, a great classic film from the 1960s is Withnail and I. It's what we call a cult classic. So, a cult classic, a film that is very popular with certain people, or maybe is not known in the whole country, but for a group of people is very popular. Trainspotting is another classic film from the 1990s. It's a very popular film in the UK. Submarine is a more recent film, I think from 2012 or 2011. It's a funny film. We call this a coming of age film. It's about teenagers and growing up. And another good film, animated film, is Chicken Run, which is has very British humour. That is a very funny film and is very British humour. Some of my favourite films from other countries. I mentioned some already. Here's one, Cinema Paradiso from Italy. It's a great film. Nostalgia de la Luz, I already mentioned, it's a documentary. El Abrazo de la Serpiente, a Colombian film. It's very good. And Güeros as well, a film from Mexico. It's also a very good film. So this is a documentary film. Say this is a drama. This is maybe more of a historical drama. And this is both a drama, comedy, a road movie, a movie about traveling. Okay, and finally, here's some of my favorite actors and directors. So I have 2 directors and 1 actor. Here we have a British director, Ken Loach, makes very interesting films. An Irish actor, Cillian Murphy, and a Chilean director, Patricio Guzman, who directed this film, Nostalgia de la Luz, is by Patricio Guzman. And I like a lot his style, his way of making films. So there you go, those are some different types of films, some famous actors, some of my favorite actors or directors or movies. Thank you for listening to the presentation and have a great day. Thank you. Bye bye.